You see, time management only works when you realize that you're not managing time. You're managing choices. What I realized is the faster I went, the more I had to slow down over time. And the slower I went, the more I could go faster over the long run. And look, what if I told you after watching this video, you will learn how to manage your time so precisely that you'll be able to achieve everything you want to achieve and still have time to manage your social life, to have fun, to be with friends and family and live a good life. Because that is the meaning and purpose of life, to live with fulfillment, with purpose and ambition and have a good life. So today I'm going to share the knowledge that I've gathered over the years while working, studying at university, starting a YouTube channel, growing a YouTube channel, sports, personal stuff, relationships, and pretty much everything while still having time for myself. And also some of the secret tricks that I've used to help manage my school community. So part number 1, the budget rule. So the idea here is to treat your time like a bank account. For example, you value your money enough not to just throw it on the street and get rid of it. Like you wouldn't just throw away money, right? So why would you throw away your time? The problem is you don't value your time enough. And that is pretty much why time management has become so hard. Because the moment you value your time just as much as you value your money, then every single minute would be useful. Every hour would be spent either working towards your goals or truly recovering and resetting. You see, the same way that overspending leads to your bank being in the minus, overspending with your time leads to procrastination, stress, and burnout. So strand number 1 is a concept called inflation tasks. So these are pretty much tasks that get more expensive the longer you wait. You see, some tasks, they don't just sit there, they grow interest. They actually in the background are still working and still draining your time and energy. These are what I like to refer to as open loops. You see, everything from the bill unpaid, the conversation you left unfinished, the attractive person whose number you didn't ask for, the thing that you wanted to say and you didn't say it, all of these things are open loops. And as long as they remain open, they gain interest. You see, the longer you push off doing the dishes or doing the laundry or doing that thing that you wanted to do, the more friction comes between you and that thing and the harder it is to do. If you had a message that you wanted to send and the longer you wait, the longer there's going to be this anxiety between you and, what is that person going to think? What if this message comes off in the wrong way? And then that leads to avoidance. You see, eating late at night just disrupts the next day's bandwidth. Your focus and your routine in the next day is going to be affected. So in a way, everything affects something else. You have these series of so many different things that are just playing in harmony with one another. And the moment you change one thing and you disrupt it, you're disrupting the harmony of everything in your life. So as soon as you've identified that you need to do something, you need to do it as soon as possible. The longer you wait, the more friction, the more confusion, the more you're just building up resistance. And that's not what we want. Time management has become so hard because we have all of these open loops inside our brain. We have all these things and tasks that we know we should have done. We know that it's still in the back of our mind. And at the same time, we didn't do it. And that's why it's draining our mental and physical energy. So valuing your time in the right way, just as much as you value your money enough not to just waste it, you need to apply the same principle to your time. Because if you think about it, time is just as valuable, if not more valuable. Because time is the essence, time is everything. There's a quote that I really love and it goes like this. From exactly today till 20 years in the future, every single amount of money that you would have made, all the wealth that you would have accumulated over that time span, you would give back to be 20 years younger again. That is a quote by Chris Williamson. I really resonated with it because it just shows you the value of time. The idea here is you would spend a lot of money to get back time that you lost, which means time is more valuable than money. You just have to learn and practice and teach yourself to see it that way, because then you wouldn't need to waste your time and procrastinate. You see, strand 2 is time price tags. Most of the time, the reason we don't value time enough is because we don't put price tags on time. If you go and walk into a store, you see price tags on everything. And it gives you this value reference between all the things in the store. So the idea here is to micro price everything. Everything that you do, all your tasks, you need to understand how much time does this take, right? So assign every task a literal price tag in minutes. For example, reply to emails, let's say 10 minutes. Clean the kitchen, let's say 14 minutes. Scroll Instagram, 40 minutes. Start editing, 7 minutes to get momentum. Once you have price tags for the time that every single task you do takes, it's just going to give you more of a value reference as to, what is the most valuable, what takes up the most time, what takes up the least time, what should I prioritize the most. And you're going to want to put all of that on a piece of paper in order to be able to track relentlessly. Because without tracking everything, you don't even see how much time you waste on a day-to-day basis. So before we get into part number 2, I just want to thank everybody who has supported and showed some love in the school community, which is growing very, very fast. as well as the channel. So I'm super grateful. Now let's move on to part number 2, the leverage lens. The idea here is that not all tasks produce equal results. You see, 1 hour spent on the right things returns 10 hours later on. Your day shouldn't be organized by urgency. It should actually be organized by ROI, which means return on investment. So you have to be doing the tasks that return the most. You see, if you only had 2 hours in a week to work on achieving your goals, you have to ask yourself, what would you be doing during those 2 hours? I can tell you almost immediately that you wouldn't be doing 80% of what you're currently doing. You see, most of the time, 80% of tasks are just fluff. They're just busy and fake productivity that make you feel good in the moment, but end up draining you over the long term. You see, there's the 80-20 rule, which just states that 20% of the work that you do is responsible for 80% of the results. And 80% of the work that you do is responsible for 20% of the results. So what would it be smarter to prioritize? It's obviously going to be the 20%. Focus on the needle moving tasks. Identify what are the few things that actually make a difference in your life, that actually make a difference in your work, in your studies. What are the things that bring the highest return on investment? And those are the things you should focus on. Because productivity shouldn't be measured by the number of hours you work. That's just going to lead to burnout, overwhelm, and procrastination. Instead, productivity should be measured by just simply how many results, how many wins, how much success do you get at the end of the month? Because if you can get more results and more success by doing less work, that means you've won. That means you've just cut out fluff, you've cut out time wasters and energy drainers that weren't serving you. So let's talk about 2 very important concepts. Concept number 1, leverage index tasks. So over here, you're going to want to create a list of tasks and you want to rate them and organize them by return on time investment. So instead of rating them emotionally and how they make you feel, you need to rate these tasks and prioritize them, being number 1 the best and number 10 the worst. So on the very top, number 1, you're going to have all of the tasks that prevent burnout, that get the work done, that provide results, that remove friction, that get you rolling, that make you creative, and also things that save your time, things that save your energy, things that make everything quicker, make everything more efficient, more smooth. And at the very bottom, number 10, which is the tasks that are least on the priority level, are going to be tasks that just don't really do anything. They don't get you the results. They're really bloated and they just waste time. So organize all the tasks that you do on a day-to-day basis from 1 to 10, 1 being the most and best things you can do, and pretty much focus on the top 3, and the rest are things you just need to remove. And concept number 2 is called the 20 times setup rule. You see, if you set something up correctly the first time, then you just save hours and time forever. You see, for these videos, I usually film in bulk. If I film in small fragments, then every single time I'm going to have to set up the light, set up the camera, set up the microphone, do the checks, and all that time, so like let's say it's 5 minutes per setup time, is going to add up. So if I have to set up 10 times, then I'm wasting another 50 minutes. So that's why I choose to film videos in bulk, because I know I have to set up only once. So it's going to take me 5 minutes and I'm going to record all of that content, which will save me a lot of time. That is called the 20x leverage task. And examples of this are automating workflows, creating templates, pre-packing gym bags, batch scheduling, pre-building systems, prompts, formats, and all these things that just save you time in the long run. It might take you a little bit of extra effort to create a system, to create that prompt, to create that thing that is going to help you out, that schedule, that time planner. But that time, the initial effort, is far compensated for by the time it is going to save you. It is going to save you so much time if you just create these systems for yourself. For the editing process, all the text, all the B-rolls you see, I've organized them and already pre-color graded them. I've prepared them so that literally all I have to do is drag and drop. And that just makes the editing process a lot easier. It saves me a lot of time. Instead of doing everything manually, I use presets as well. Because if I didn't, then I would just feel productive, but I'd get the same result at the end of the day. And it would just leave me feeling burnt out, feeling overwhelmed, and not having done much. You see, something like cleaning your room, it might feel like it's a low emotional reward, but in the long run, it saves you a lot of time because you're going to be more productive. That self-image of having a clean room and a optimized environment is going to make you feel good. It's going to make you do more and be more efficient. So part 1 and 2 are really important, but not as important as part number 3, which is the friction formula. You see, you don't lack motivation, you just have too much friction. And it's not that you can't do the thing. It's not that you struggle and you procrastinate doing the thing. It's more like the setup cost is too high. There's too much friction between you and what you want to achieve. And that is what is standing in your way and making time management super hard. So the idea here, the way we can solve this and work around this, is make the task so easy to start, that it would be almost hard not to get going, not to just take the first steps. So make the task stupidly easy to start, and momentum is going to take care of the rest. All you have to do is start. Everything else after that is going to solve itself, I promise you. So how do you get yourself to just start? You reduce friction. You break tasks down to as simple as they can be broken down to. You make things as clear as possible. You make a task as easy as possible to start, and then everything else will follow. You see, if you reduce friction, then you're increasing discipline. And that is because systems beat willpower every single time. The goal of discipline is to just be the guy who manages their time, be the person who is focused, the person who's efficient, consistent, who has their goals and their priorities, who is doing the good habits and not doing the bad habits. So if that's the goal, then why not make it easier for yourself? And that is where systems come in, instead of using willpower and making it harder for yourself and just being burnt out at the end. So time management is the essence of everything. I can tell you the difference between where you want to be and where you are now is just managing your time, setting clear goals, setting clear intentions for where you want to go, the direction you want your life to be headed in, and just taking those steps, creating systems, creating automated workflows, understanding the times where you are more efficient, right? Some people, they like to work and they're super focused in the morning. Some people are super focused in the evening. You just need to find your edge, find your time, and just double down, because everybody works differently, right? For me, time blocks don't work that well. They used to work, but now they don't. So I have to adapt and optimize according to my current state. So you need to study yourself. You need to be like, okay, this is where my outputs are going. This is where time is being wasted, and I have to fix it. So you need to relentlessly track your inputs versus your outputs, because outputs are things you can't control, but they're directly a result of your inputs. So if you control your inputs, which you can control, and you make your inputs high quality, valuable, you make them only useful inputs, then your outputs are going to become valuable and useful, and you're going to see those results you wanted to see. You're going to see that progress. You're going to feel good. You're going to feel productive and focused. And that is what everything is about. So if you seriously want to level up and make the switch before the New Year's, before 2026, so you can set yourself up for a productive, focused, and efficient year, and you can get that head start, then join our school community, Discipline OS. Basically, we have weekly calls, we have systems to beat procrastination, to master time management, and also to rewire the emotional circuits that stunt your growth. So click the link below and watch the quick introduction video, and we'll see you inside. Take care, and you got this.